Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to your Daily Five. I'm Leslie Jouflas, and thank you, StockCharts, for inviting me back. This is a segment where we have 10 minutes to present five charts. So, with our limited time, let's get right to the chart. So, today I'm going to cover where we are in the S&P 500 because it keeps trying to make attempts up to that 4,000 level. So we're going to look at the current price levels, and I'm going to follow up with the JP Morgan chart, Amazon, Facebook, and the energy ETF. So here I'm showing you, this is a 120-minute chart on the S&P 500, and this is a futures chart. Now you can use the SPX, the numbers might be just a little bit different, but you should be able to find the same patterns that I'm showing you. So yesterday I was looking at different price levels, just doing some analysis. And I noticed that the 3930 level was getting a lot of testing. And then, of course, the highs around 3972, just a little bit above that area. And I'm using a regular session chart here, so I don't have Globex data on it. And it allows me to sort of see where the bulk of the price levels are by using a regular session chart. So back in February, over on the left-hand side here, the market climbed up to new highs. It formed with that high, what we call a little butterfly sell pattern. And the market had a reaction down from that. And you can see there that pink dashed line, that's that 3930-ish level. So you can see right on that decline how the prices at that point even started hovering around there. It had been a point of resistance before that pop up to the new high, and then tested it several times, had more of a reaction down, back up to the 3930-ish area, came down, it formed a ABCD buy pattern, then back up around and hovered around that 3930 area, and then went up to make another new high, and then another reaction and looked back down up to that 3930-ish area. So a lot of times when I notice on the current price, current prices, an area like that, that the price seems to be hovering and testing a lot, I just sort of extend lines back and kind of try and match up. Why is it coming back to this area? Well, I also noticed right here where this yellow circle is, this was the FOMC announcement day. And the low of that day was 39.31 and three quarters, and the high of the day was 39.73 and a half. Now, these levels can be important after an FOMC announcement or any type of economic announcement where the market makes a strong move in one direction. So you want to kind of make notes of that. And here we can see following that day, the price again came back down to around the lows and then broke the lows down, back up. We formed another ABCD buy pattern. It came back up to the 3930-ish level. So it's just getting a lot of testing. And yesterday we came back down again to the 3930-ish level on the lows. And so that creates this current range where I have these solid blue lines. And so this is the area that I'm watching now for breakout. And of course, again, above the 3970-ish area would be an upside breakout. And I believe the market would then be heading up towards that 4,000 level. However, I'm not really sure we're going to see it exceeded by a lot at this point, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And down below this solid blue line here, then that would be breaking that support area that's been tested so many times, and then we might be looking at a little bit larger move to the downside. the low of where this ABCD buy pattern is, right around this 38.46 area, that might be the first area the market test on a downside move. So also with breakout levels like this, you always want to keep in mind for signs of a successful or failed breakout. And if it fails on one end, so you get a breakout, say to the upside, it just doesn't hold, comes back down through the other end, you usually get a larger move on the opposite end of that. And it would be true also if you get a downside breakout, just doesn't really come to the downside, back up, and then up through the opposite end. Many times you'll get stronger moves from that type of a price movement. So the RSI, we want to watch that as well, because you can see as it was making other highs here at the tops of the ranges, the RSI was starting to show some weakness here. But these lows here are still in the bullish range of the RSI. So we're sort of at an indecision point, and we can see that by these price levels that are being tested. So if we get a strong breakout to the upside, we'd want to see the RSI be showing strength as well. And if it's a downside breakout, then we want to see the RSI turn down and be showing weakness to confirm that. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next chart, which is our JP Morgan chart. So JP Morgan had an interesting butterfly sell pattern here, and it completed here, got a 50% retracement, and then had this spike move to the upside. Well, the RSI is showing weakness on this pattern. From this high to this low is made a 382 retracement, but now it's currently forming a Gartley sell pattern with the completion area right around this 157. A couple of extension numbers just above that you can see here. But this 1.0 completion with this is right in line with their previous opens and closes. So you can see that the market has done a few opens and closes around that area. So I would be expecting some resistance in that area. So we want to be keeping an eye on that. And I've got, this retracement on here. So if this completes here, and then possibly a move to the downside, we may see, some of these retracement levels hit. But it's also a potential head and shoulder pattern, with this being the left shoulder and a right shoulder forming over here. So our next chart is Amazon, and this is a chart that I showed back in February on David Keller's final bar, and this is a weekly pattern. So this has been going on for a little while now. So each bar is a weekly bar. So we've broken now, the price is broken to the downside, and it's been testing, as you can see, the lower part of this trend line. The RSI was hovering above this pink line when this pattern was forming when I first presented it. And now you can see the RSI is just below it. And if we get some more downside, then the RSI will most likely turn down. But the on balance volume has been turning to the downside. You can see the MACD here has been weaker. Now, what would invalidate this would be a move back to the upside and a strong move above this trend line here. But for right now, it's, this breakout has completed to the downside. Oh, and Facebook, this one also I showed on March 9th, so you can look those episodes up if you like. But here we've had a breakout to the upside from this descending triangle pattern. And we also have an ABCD Gartley cell pattern with that. So, technical analysis is fluid. Things change, new patterns form. So you just have to sort of continue to update your analysis. So the market found the resistance here from this upside breakout and has tested now almost a perfect test of that trend line. But it could be now forming a larger range. And so here's the highs of Facebook, and I've drawn this pink dashed line in across here. So if the price here were to move back down into this triangle range, then I think that what we have here is a larger range to be watching. And in that episode, I showed, these different components of a successful or a failed breakout. So you can review those as well. And the last chart I'm going to update is XLE, and that's also from the daily 5 from March 9th. And we were right up here at these highs when I showed this sell pattern and talked about XLE, the energy market, ready for a correction. So far it's come down to this 0.50, which is from this low to high. The retracement, the larger retracement from this low to high, the 382 is right down here. So I'm thinking that might see a little bit more of an up. And if this turns down, probably down into these retracements areas, probably around the maybe 41 and a half, 42 and a half ish area. I'll watch this 44 area first to see how price reacts to that. But I had used at the time the bullish percent for the energy market, and that was at 100% when this pattern had completed up here. And so again, you can check that episode from March 9th if you want to get a full. But that's our daily 5 today. Thank you for joining me, and I will be doing the gold market on the next daily 5 on April 6th.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.